video, we introduce sequences and define them carefully. In this video, we'll work with examples and introduce closed formulas and recursive definitions for sequences. Hey everyone, real quick, I just want to mention that this video is a part of a whole course that I made. You can find a link to this entire course in the description below and make sure to click on that subscribe button. All right, let's take a look at some more examples. Can you find the next term in the following sequences? So we have 777 and so forth. Let's start with number 1. First off, the question is, can you find the next term in the following sequences? This is going to be a disappointing answer, but the answer is no for all of them. The answer is just no. You cannot find the next term. The sequences, you can't predict the next term because you can't say with 100% certainty what the pattern is. Now you might guess what the next terms are, and you might have, for example, for number 1, you might guess the next term is 7, but there are many sequences that start with 77777. There are many. The next term might be 8, it could be 9, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be negative 37,368. Who knows? So we can't say for certain, we can't find the next term because it could be anything. Could be anything. But let's assume for the sake of this example that I have this intention in mind. And if you can find that intention behind each sequence, let's just assume that that's actually the correct term, the next term. Now again, we can't quite do that, but let's assume these are slightly trivial sequences, and so that'll make it easier to guess at least. So for the first one, obviously the next term is probably going to be 7. For number 2, the next term's probably going to be negative 3 because it's alternating between 3 and negative 3. The next one's a little bit tough to see, but pause the video and see if you can get it. If you notice, I'm going to put like a little line on every other term. If you notice, that's a sequence, and then these terms here are also a sequence. It's like embedding 2 sequences simultaneously. So the next number is probably going to be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next term after that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Okay, so for the next sequence, we have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. These are powers of 2, so the next one's probably going to be 64. For this one, these are squares. 1 is 1 squared, 4 is 2 squared, 9 is 3 squared, 16 is 4 squared, 25, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared is 49. So that'll be the next term. This one's a little bit tricky. 1, 2, 3, 5. I was hoping for like a 4 there. That would have been nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would have been nicer, but unfortunately, that's not what we're given here. However, I do notice that 3 is 2 plus 1. 5 is 2 plus 3. 8 is 3 plus 5. 13 is 5 plus 8. These are the Fibonacci numbers, just shifted over a little bit. And so the next one's going to be 13 plus 21, which is 34. Okay, so for this next one, 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, I noticed that the differences is an arithmetic sequence. So here we add 2, so plus 2, then plus 3, then plus 4, then plus 5, then plus 6, and so on. So the next number should be plus 7, which is 28. For this next one, we have 2, 3, 5, 7. It would have been nice to see a 9 next, but we see an 11, which kind of throws things off. If we had a 9 there, I could tell you, if a 9 was here, I could tell you the next term would be 15. However, there's no 9 there, which throws things off. So what do we notice about this sequence? Well, these are prime numbers. 9 is not a prime number. There's a special characteristic about the odd number 9, and that is that it's not a prime number. So these are all prime numbers. And so the next term in the sequence is not 15, because 15 is not a prime number. 17 is, though. 17 is the next prime number. For this one, we see we're counting down by increments of 1. So 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2 is next. 1, 1, 2, 6. I want you to pause the video and try this one. This is actually a challenging one. See if you could pause the video and try it on your own. So this one's actually a little bit tricky because we have to look at all of our unary operations or possibly binary operations like multiplication, addition. Is there any sort of like consecutive addition going on, or consecutive multiplication going on, or maybe exponentiation somewhere. Well, none of those are going to help you, unfortunately, because it's actually factorials. So 1 is 0 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. 2 factorial is 2. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. So 4 factorial is 6 times 4, which is 24. So the next term of the sequence would be 24 if these were factorials. Again, though, there's a huge problem. These are the next terms of the sequences I had in mind when I made up the examples, but there's no way to be sure that these are actually correct. So just remember that. There's no way to find the next term if you don't know a closed formula or recursive definition. Still, we will often do this. Given the first few terms of a sequence, we can ask what the pattern in the sequence suggests the next terms are. Given that no number of initial terms in a sequence is enough to say for certain which sequence we are dealing with, we need to find another way to specify a sequence. We consider 2 ways to do this, either with a closed formula or with a recursive definition. So a closed formula is a sequence, for a sequence, is a formula for an, using a fixed finite number of operations on n. This is what you normally think of as a formula in n, just as if you were defining a function in terms of n, because that is exactly what you're doing. So sequences are functions. A recursive definition, sometimes called an inductive definition for a sequence, consists of a recurrence relation, an equation relating a term of the sequence to previous terms of the sequence with smaller indices, and an initial condition or multiple initial conditions, which is a list of a few terms in the sequence, one less than the number of terms in the recurrence relation. You'll get the hang of that last what's in that last parentheses a little bit later on, so don't worry about that too much. The idea is for a recursive definition, each term is written in terms of previous terms. And so if you want to find A50, it's actually really hard because first you have to find A1, then A2, then A3, then A4, then A5, then you have to find A6, and then you have to find A7 and A8, and all the way up to A50. It's kind of difficult with recursive definitions. In the next video, we'll go through many more examples and introduce some of the most important sequences. So I'll see you then.